Hello, everyone. Excuse me, I'm coughing, so I'm gonna mute. Hello, hello, people who are tuning in. Oh my god. Something I'm inhaling that's... Oh my god. Hey, Pinkie Pie Pinkers. Pinkie Pie Pinker Pick a Picked a Peck of Pickled Peppers. I'm alright. I'm muting a lot because I'm coughing for some reason. A lot. Oh my god. I don't want to have to cough directly into my mic if I can help it. Also, my chat should be showing up on stream. Oh, I think that fixed it. I think if you send something in chat. Yeah, okay, wait. The background isn't darkened. I think it's supposed to be. Or I didn't save it. Okay, now the chat should be darkened. The backdrop should be darkened a little bit so that you can see your text better. I'm new to this whole streaming thing. Excuse me. Hello, new people coming in. Yeah, so I figured out the problem. I think there's just a lot of dust on my fan. Because I had the fan blowing and I was coughing a lot, and I turned the fan off, and now I'm not coughing. Hello, everyone joining. Sorry, I'm getting DM'd. Hello? Yeah, I'm getting a lot of Discord notifications right now, so sorry if I'm not saying much. I guess I'll warm up with some Cybergrind. That's not a good start. My posture's so bad right now. Oh my god, this is what ULTRAKILL does to people. Got some water next to me, fortunately. That was a really sad wave to follow up. My progress got reset in ULTRAKILL like 2 days ago. Oh, do you know why that happened? That's weird. No, the game won't save anymore either. Weird. Do you think it's just like I'm sure you have the game installed on Steam, right? Maybe it's like a Steam desync thing, like it hasn't saved to the cloud. So maybe all you need to do is like fix your Steam or verify the integrity of the files. I don't know. Save though? Yeah, it might just be ULTRAKILL. Have you tried verifying the integrity of your files? Also, hello, Semitronic. Yeah, try to verify the integrity of your files. You should be able to go to like properties and Steam on ULTRAKILL, and from there you'll be able to. Do that later? Okay. Now you're here to watch me, right? Amen. God bless. Amen. He was a bit loud versus voice, by the way. Okay. Could also just be my. Okay, my game is all the way up right now. What the heck? Let me see how this sounds. Hold on. Is this better? Probably, yeah? Okay. And to be fair, there is a lot going on. I've already gotten virtues like 5 times in this run. Got your food for your bank, alright. Yeah, so I'm just doing this one for now. Yeah, but after this, I'll probably I don't know how long. So, I guess what's the plan right now? That's the real question. Let me see what kind of Cybergrind things we can do. I mean, Cybergrind review videos. Okay. Um, got a lot of new people joining the Discord server. One of the early ones. All right, let's see. What wave do we get to here? Wave 49. Okay, yeah, we'll do this one. I have my submission, by the way. Oh yeah, did you submit that in the server? All right. I'm gonna do this Sisyphean struggler. So they call themselves. Super cool run right here, just because it's older. Hold on. This is the same person. Oh, yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. Okay. You guys can see this? Let me quickly disable mouse and keyboard. Put that on screen. All right. How's the chat feel, by the way? I added like a little bit of like a like a translucent backdrop to it, so that it might be easier to see the chat messages. I can make it darker if need be. Looks great so far. Okay, good. Let me see what happens when I full screen. How this looks. You've returned. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Then I guess we can start. Um. So let me quickly go see what this person said in the Discord. Uh, video info. In this run, I missed at the end. I messed at the end, and it's not close to my record, but I feel decent about it, and it's closer to my usual Cybergrind run than my record. Okay. This person has 500 hours in ULTRAKILL, so we're gonna take that into account. Full Jackhammer Acolyte. Love to see it. Personally, love the core eject Jackhammer the most. It's so fun to use. Absolutely correct. I don't know how to effectively deal with Radiant Maurices and Sisyphean Insurrectionists, so advice on that would be appreciated. Okay, so this person wants advice for like enemy matchups specifically. We'll see about that. And oops, that's my ultra kill. All right, I guess we'll just start. See what we can pick up already. Oh jeez. Okay, this music is aggressive. Oh, it's a cover of. I recognize the first like notes of the song. Yeah, it's a cover of "Hear the Siren Song, Call of Death." I'm gonna turn this down. Not my kind of music. Alright, so the quality is a little rough. Just trying to pay attention to the loadout currently. I think they're running... Yeah, all ults, all pistols, which is interesting. Alright. Already I'm noticing a couple things. Yeah, okay, here we go, yeah. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, his wave start is just to... Yeah, his wave start is very reactive. That's definitely a big problem. Your wave start definitely... Okay. The moment that really should decide your wave start is what the layout of the map is. Obviously, to some degree, it matters like enemy matchups and stuff like that. Like if Virtue spawn, you might want to do a couple things more differently. But generally speaking, your wave start should include saws, nails, a coin combo, something like that. Something simple and easy that's very versatile no matter what happens when enemies spawn in. So this person saw like this whole map spawn in, and this based on their PB, which I'm sure is kind of high because they're getting like Radiant Maurices and Insurrectionists to spawn apparently. I'm assuming they're very aware. Actually, wait, can you guys see my mouse? Just want to clarify real quick. Doesn't seem like you guys can see my mouse. That's weird. Is there any way for me to fix that? Properties. Capture cursor. Okay. Perfect. All right. I think you guys can see my mouse now. Right? You can. I just want to be able to highlight things as I'm talking. Okay. All right. You guys see it now? All right. So, yeah, here's what I'm saying. This person sees this map before these two Maurices spawn in. Again, you want to think about high traffic zones. So they're like, there's this staircase over here and this little area that comes over to this staircase over here as well. And then there's this corridor here and then this staircase. This place is a lot more cover than this place. So generally speaking, you want to play this area more than this area. Very generally speaking. Though, more specifically, you want to get away with lathering this area with your crowd control, the center area. Because any enemies that spawn up here or up here that are melee, Cerberus, Swords Machines, anything like that, Ferrymen, they have to come down these stairs to get to whatever is here in this area down here, or to get across the map. So in order for them to go from here to there, they have to go through the oil here. In order to go from here to anywhere down here, like if you're camping these ledges, they have to go to these areas to fight you. Now Mind Flayers and Virtues, they're a bit different because they're flying. But like even like if you had put oil in this area down here, this Insurrectionist that spawns, he would have been covered in the oil, the one down there. And it would have made this matchup a bit easier because currently this insurrectionist is not on fire. It's not taking any passive damage. Um, they take double damage from fire. So if he had been set on fire by anything, like he would have taken like anywhere between like 8 to 16 damage just by himself. And so that means you're fighting, instead of fighting like a 55 health insurrectionist, you're fighting a 75 health insurrectionist. Also, hi aesthetic A. Hello, nice to see ya. Um, but yeah, that's a big problem, right? Because you wanted help with insurrectionists. That's definitely a tip. You're pulling out the fire starter as your first weapon, but you're using it reactively, and that's the problem. So my overall tip: use the fire starter proactively as a round starter. Lather those high concentration, high traffic areas, so that when insurrectionists do spawn and like melee enemies do spawn, when you try to fight these Maurices, you'll have a way easier time because you're up in the air fighting this Maurice, and everything that's melee or on the ground has to walk through the fire to get to you. So that's definitely my suggestion so far. And yeah, this is putting you under a lot of pressure. Hard damage, but you did bounce back. Nice Roku combo, like it. Okay, wow, you got an insurrectionist, a mind flayer, and a ferryman to spawn. Okay, good. So this person does know how to fight Cerberus. Cerberus are very tricky. What does this say? Guys, this is the coolest YouTuber ever. I love this channel so much, guys. Like and subscribe right now. Do it. Not being paid to say this. This is my girlfriend, by the way, who's saying this. So this isn't like stalker parasocial behavior. This is my girlfriend. For those who don't know. Anyway, this person's fighting Cerberus very well. When fighting a Cerberus, especially on... Wait, let me make sure this is the difficulty I'm thinking of. I think it's... Oh, it's violent. Okay, so it's violent. Oops. Double oops. Okay, so this person's playing on violent. On brutal, very big difference between violent. Cerberus will dash twice on brutal instead of once, but even still, the rule still applies that Cerberus dash is very deadly. And not because it does a good amount of damage. I mean, it does good damage. It's 25. But he can hit you from anywhere in a circle around him, basically. So, like, anywhere in this area, he can dash up to you. And playing from this far back means that he won't dash to you. The threat of being dashed at by a Cerberus means that he can push you very far away from the arena. The knockback from a dash is very, very bad. And if he knocks you off the arena, for instance, then you're going to get caught by virtues that you haven't killed, mind flayers that are chasing you around, sentries that are on the floor. He can push you away from idols. He's very good at guarding his teammates, anyone that's around him that you're trying to engage with in a melee range. So, yeah, you definitely want to be careful when there's Cerberus around. Obviously, it's very nice. They're very slow enemies. So you can focus them in one area and then deal with the rest of the enemies. As well, like if idols spawn, you can deal with idols first pretty easily because they can't catch up to you, especially on violent. So these are all things to consider. This person's playing against a Cerberus correctly, very well. I mean, like, there's more than 1 million ways to fight a Cerberus, so... This is some interesting music. Okay, I want to go back and look at those magnet placements real quick. Okay, so you put them in the right places. I think he hit an enemy. No, he didn't. Okay, here's a problem. He's trying to do a conduction combo using the jump start, and then also trying to use the saw blade launcher to detonate it early. I always knew Vocalites had a dark hell past. Yeah, I mean, if I'm hearing the lyrics and it does sound like that. What does it say? Maestro went. Oh, your stream won't stop pausing. Oh, that's sad. Well, I mean, you can't always go back. You know. Anyway. So usually when it comes to the jump start, you have like one of two options. Option number 1, you can try to kill the enemy to get the conduction pop early. And option number 2, you can try to use saws to make the conduction pop early. And option number 2 is generally better against like taller enemies because by tall I mean like enemies with a lot of health, because you can get the 10 damage pop from the jumpstart very well, and very easy, very fast. So what you're trying to do here is to get the 10 damage on the Cerberus to try to kill him by using the jumpstart damage, which subsequently will get nail damage and conduction and all that good stuff. But the problem is you did preset your saws, and in doing so, trying to maneuver around the area using saws for both conduction and for crowd control is really difficult because... Oh, goodbye, Pinky. You're left with having fewer saws, number 1, and number 2, you're left with magnets that have a 12-second lifetime, and they're not going to go away. They're going to constantly suck your saws back into the magnets, which means it's very hard for you to get value off of your jumpstart target. ZK might be sponsored. Not at all, okay? So yeah, another tip here. I'm not sure if this is a frequent issue you have, but just judging by how you went about this round start in general, you definitely want to play around your saws if you are trying to get like jumpstart value. You definitely want to play more around your saws than trying to get jumpstart value somewhere and also get saw value somewhere else in like a... How do I explain this? You don't want to use your saws for crowd control when you are trying to use your saws for jump saw value or jumpstart value. That makes sense? Hello, Broccoli and others. Hello. The Yeeter Deleter, you were in the last... You're one of the last people I reviewed. Use MS Paint as whiteboard? I don't have MS Paint. But, I mean, that might be a good idea. But you get what I'm saying, right? Your jumpstart target's here. Your nails are over here. You can't change the fact that these magnets are here without destroying them. So don't try to use them to activate your jump nail. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. You need to pick one or the other. Use them as crowd control or use them for your jump nail. Another thing, your target priority is a bit interesting. I'm not going to judge yet, because I want to see more of your gameplay, but it is definitely interesting. Nice, using points for yeah, one thing that's slightly different from brutal and violent, Guttermen, since they don't get enraged, normally enraged gives you 250 style points, and that can be tripled if you're in the air for a period of time. So that's a big difference. Guttermen are not as style lucrative on violent, though you can parry them a lot and you can kill them a lot faster, and they're not as much of a threat. Generally, I don't know. I have to adjust my opinion here because this is violent. I would say generally stick to trying to kill Guttermen as soon as possible because their 7 damage explosion is still really good, and enemies are a lot slower on violent than they are compared to brutal. So you can corral them into Guttermen a lot easier, and kill the Guttermen from any which range at that point. Just try to parry them as much as possible. They take 5 damage every time you do. They have 25 health. Gutterman punch. I mean, Knucklebuster punch takes out the shield, and then just do anything you want to them at that point. So, yeah, they're not as style lucrative. I'll have to adjust my opinion on that, on everything moving forward, considering that. Okay, so we do know how to quick mount. Nice. Alright, so that was a pretty simple wave. Just a couple sentries. You dealt with them pretty well, making sure you play line of sight blockers. Failed nuke. It's alright. Happens to the best of us. Quickly check if I can increase it. No, I can't. Okay, well. Nice. That was a cool combo. Yeah, in moments like this, you definitely want to recognize your matchup. Like you dealt with the only air target here, which was the Mind Flare. And there are probably a lot more circumstances where it would be better to just place oil and like nails and saws down. Because remember that the ferryman and the Serbs and the swords machine, they're all completely landlocked. So if you just put some oil here and you play this like stairwell corner here, they're just gonna take constant 1 damage ticks every half second. And that's way easier than trying to use the marksman revolver to try to kill them, you know what I mean? Or whatever you're gonna do with the slurp here. So yeah, I guess that's an extension of my previous tip. Like, try to be more proactive than reactive. Like, analyze the matchup and play that accordingly. I would also say, try to practice where you're placing your saws, because if you're putting them down here, they're just going to destroy themselves and the magnets aren't going to get value, and then any saws you try to use furthermore with the jumpstart aren't going to get value because they're going to get sucked down here and they're not going to hit your target unless they're far enough away to pop your jumpstart. So I would say try to aim more for like these flat like areas over here, because these are where enemies are going to be walking, not only, but also their lifespan is going to be a lot more extended because you chose to put them in a flatter area. Yes, by the way, I'm trying to incorporate your suggestions for the most part. I'm a bit rusty in playing ULTRAKILL, so it's going to take some time. Of course. I mean, I'm not expecting improvement in a day. It takes a bit of practice. I play on standard a lot. Current PB is 72, and I wish I could climb up the difficulties eventually, but it's so big of a difference. Any tips on things to focus on when upping difficulties? Parry timings. Definitely parry timings. You got to remember that parrying is your best like offensive, defensive, and support tool at the same time. It heals you to full immediately. Another thing, watch your whiplash use, because whiplashing is probably going to be one of the greater points of... Whiplashing is going to cause you the most hard damage, is what I mean to say. Another thing, dashing. These are all like fundamental things, like very, very fundamental things that you just need to keep track of. Don't focus so much on the matchups at first. You're going to learn how the matchups play out, like how fast Maurice fires his projectiles and whenever he does his charge up move and rage factors and all those things. You're going to learn that naturally. Focus on parrying. Focus on making sure your style is good for hard damage, because I don't know if you know, but the higher your style, the faster your hard damage goes away. And additionally, what was my final tip? I completely forgot. I'm being so dumb right now. Practice with just playing a lot of campaign again, new difficulty. Yeah. Definitely. Okay, here's just like a good bog standard. Just do this. On Violent, P rank everything. Make sure you P rank everything for sure. That'll be like the true testament of like, okay, I'm handling these enemies in different environments dynamically. you know, with different loadouts. Another thing, just use the jackhammer. Stop using the shotgun. That's another suggestion I have. The jackhammer will teach you how to be better at the game. Yeah, that's another suggestion. Okay, we're using red gauge a lot. Using red gauge a lot in the earlier waves is okay because you're getting the kills and there's so few kills to get. Thank you, Audica. Daily reminder to like and subscribe to the best YouTuber ever. Thank you very much. I use double jackhammer. Thank you for the tips. I want to know, what is your shotgun and what are your jackhammers? I want to know which weapons you use. Master Hammer Supreme Race, God bless. Jackhammer will teach you how to be better at the game. It will. It absolutely will. And I'm waiting for the time that I get someone who uses like 2 shotguns in like one of these reviews so I can tell them, hey, like, the jackhammer is just straight up going to teach you how to be better at the game. Learning to get in and get out at appropriate times, learning to manage a very powerful cooldown, learning to use like precise and quick timed inputs as well. Like for instance, the hip stop mechanics teach you how to get better damage using quick inputs, right? And you know, you can do that. You can transfer that over to fists. You can transfer that over to conduction combos. You can transfer that over to using rockets with FUPs, FUP, which is frozen unfriendly pull. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways you can get good value out of that, right? Like think about the rail cannon, right? Using rail coin combos as well. Instant nuking with the core. I think the hammer teaches you a lot of very core and advanced mechanics in the game, or at least it prepares you for learning those, right? So generally speaking, yes, use the hammer. It will literally teach you how to play the game. Best. And forces you to move faster as well, just like that. Yeah, it teaches you, hey, you need to be using movement in this game to be doing things, right? Like it's just like the implicit psychology of that. Hammers can also help with evading a lot of enemy fire too, right? Very explosive weapons. They can help with blasting projectiles away from you too. It will teach you the value in friendly fire damage and pushing enemy projectiles into other enemies. Blue shotgun, other 2 are jackhammers. Really? Okay. Can I guess the malicious rail cannon is in your first or second slot? Nanashi? Because I would seriously recommend using either the pump charge or the sawed-on shotgun as your sole shotgun instead of the blue one. The core eject jackhammer is so unbelievably good. It honestly, I think it deserves a nerf. That's just my opinion. It is that good. And I think the rest of the hammers don't deserve a nerf, so that's saying something. Unironically, jackhammer helps with quick aiming as well. It does, because the backblast is affected by which direction you're aiming during the hit stop. Yeah, you do have malicious insight. Yeah, so you probably like longer range nukes. That's fair, but I do think I'm not going to tell you not to. That's a preference thing. But I will say, getting better at Cybergrind, you really want to try the core eject jackhammer. That's all I'll say. You really want to try it. Try using one of the other shotguns. There's lots of tech with the other 2 shotguns. They're pretty interesting. As your sole shotgun, I mean. Yeah, anyway, let's continue. But yeah, I think I was saying before we got into that tangent, jackhammer, you want to get better at not using the red gauge as much as possible. Sometimes it happens. It'll just happen, and you know it's hard to control that. It's whatever. But there's lots of techniques that you can employ to get yellow gauge very easily. Obviously, like here, I'll swap to thing over here. Here, let's put just a regular serve down blind enemies. make him invincible. Alright. So there are a lot of ways you can use the jackhammer to easily get yellow gauge. One thing is just jumping. Jumping will immediately put you into the yellow gauge. It's very good. Sliding as well does the same thing. Whiplashing does the same thing. But and the whiplash is like probably the best way to do it because you can do it from anywhere on the map. Like I can be way back here and I can get yellow gauge very easily. But one thing that's very underrated about the whiplash, one thing people will misjudge about it. They're like, oh my god, but you get so much hard damage with whiplash from this distance, right? Think of it this way. There's lots of ways you can avoid doing that and still get to your target very quickly. So there's this thing called whip hopping or whip jumping, right? You can attach to your target and jump while you're doing the whiplash pull, like this. And in doing so, right, you always get yellow gauge. And you get a little bit of vertical height, so like, you know, you gotta keep that in mind as well. But normally, like, if you try to do a whiplash cancel, which is something that people advertise to you to get red gauge with the jackhammer, normally that'll put your jackhammer on hold, right? Because that immediately sets you to red gauge. So what you can do instead is whip jump, right? And you can do it as fast as you want, right? Like, do that, immediately just let go. And depending on how far away it is, you know, you'll get a certain amount of distance towards your target. And you can do it twice. Right? You can do it twice intermittently. I just did that for fun, but you know what I mean. You can do that twice if you need to get a little bit of extra distance. As well, it makes it hard for other enemies to aim at you because you're changing your vertical and horizontal velocity at a really like inconsistent rate. As opposed to if you're doing this, enemies can easily lead their shot towards you. So these are some really good jackhammer tips to take into account when you're in the Cybergrind. Yeah, avoid using red gauge as much as possible. Use it when you're like trying to get a finish off a kill. Like for instance, if this Cerberus has like, 15 health left, you can do one of these, right? And that kills him. Let's say you need that kill because killing him will cause the rest of the Cerberus to become enraged, and that gives you a lot of style, and that helps you bounce back, right? There's definitely circumstances where red gauges are really nice, but generally speaking, for the higher waves, you want to avoid that, right? So that's the tip. Yeah, I mean, there you go. But I mean, your movement's pretty good, aside from that. I don't have anything to say in that regard. Okay, nice. I like the choice. I do like the choice of using slab revolvers in melee range because they do have multiple hit scans, and those multiple hit scans do heal each time the hit scan hits. So I think, honestly, more people should do that in like melee range against enemies with heads and limbs. You can heal like up to 40 and 60 alone from just hitting a head or a limb. Very cool starts, thanks. Of course, strats, I'm sure you meant. If you do alt fire on hammer, it will stay with you, which makes it a lot easier to core nuke. I can't aim for shit with that core shotgun. True. Microphone cutting in and out between volumes. Yeah, that's because I'm turning my head here. Let me adjust my microphone. So I have my laptop open and I have my actual monitor. So I'm turning my head between them, trying to read chat and look at the screen. Sorry, but I have it in between them now, so it should be a lot better. Let me drink some water. All right. Let's see how you treat this. Nice. I will say, this is good. This is definitely a really good start. You want to try to oil up these stairs. Because enemies aren't always going to be in the sides here. Let's say you try to go up to one of these ledges. If you try to go up to one of these ledges to fight like Maurice's or something, enemies are going to go up these stairs now, right? To try to chase you. And if you had oil on these stairs, you'd be able to transition from up here to down here, and the enemies would have to take this route on the stairs a lot, right? And they'd be taking a lot of damage in doing so. So, like, again, like this is definitely a high traffic zone because enemies are going to be coming from here to here while you're in this divot. But yeah, I love how the stream has a generous bitrate laying over the video, which is also a very generous bitrate. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely just like average Ultra Kill player playing this game on a laptop because it is so easy to play on like any, like any computer. So recording softwares just pick up this. But yeah, that would be my suggestion. Try putting it on stairs and playing on that side of the map with the stairs. Because if you try to play up here and down here at the same time, I mean at different times, if you try to play like down here and up here, you'll get a lot more value when enemies are walking on the stairs. Yeah, like now that you're up here and you're trying to come up these stairs, right? Enemies are just going to follow you. They're not going to be in the fire. Like you got good value in there. You killed some fodder. You got some good style from doing so. But you could be doing so much more by just aiming up a little bit and hitting these stairs with the right click. It's rough. Going for a soldier for heal is very interesting. Nice. Yeah, your target priority is interesting. So that's a Radiant Maurice, I think. Yeah, that's a Radiant Maurice. This guy has to die first. But like that Radiant Soldier is nothing, like that Schism is mostly nothing. This Swords Machine can just do whatever he wants. Gutter Tank is mostly like not gonna hurt you unless you're right next to him. You really want to focus on this Radiant Maurice. When starting one of these waves, you want to be very aware of the Radiant enemies that spawn. At least like between waves like, 20 to 100, you want to be very like conscientious about this kind of stuff. Because this Maurice is going to sweep your legs if he gets a good opportunity to do so. And yeah, I would say it's mostly luck here that you haven't died to him, honestly. Because I don't think you even knew he was there since the beginning of the wave. Yeah, I mean, like, in killing a Maurice, especially when you're running jackhammers, it can be easy like that. So, all you really need to do is just focus on killing him first, and it takes just a second to do so. Alright, here's Hideous Masses. Let's see how you deal with them. Alright, classic conduction combo to kill them. Got nothing to say, honestly. Just, obviously you can improve how it was pulled off, but seems like you know how to do it pretty well. There's an Insurrectionist here as well. Okay. Alright, so it seems like you're mostly just ignoring the Insurrectionist until you've dealt with all the other targets. That is a pretty decent mindset to get into, but you also want to consider, like, let's say something does happen, like you get bumped off the side of the stage by a Mind Flayer or Cerberus, then what are you going to do? That like, Insurrectionist is just going to make your entire gameplay experience a living hell, and it's rough to say what to do in those scenarios, because I haven't seen you be put in that scenario yet. But generally what you're doing now is pretty smart, because the Insurrectionist, when he jumps around, he's just going to try to kill other enemies for some reason. He just does 22.5 damage to all of them whenever he lands on an enemy or hits him with his fist. But yeah, I do want to see how you respond when put in that kind of scenario. Okay, so here's another thing. You are taking a huge risk. Like, it's one thing trying to get rid of these idols, but these sentries, you got to realize the position they're in. They're in such a good position to be knocked off with the Knuckle Blaster. Hi, just joining in. No idea who you are, but I like ULTRAKILL. Hell yeah, we like ULTRAKILL too. I'm doing a Cybergrind review from some of my viewers. They've been submitting stuff to my Discord, so I'm just reviewing some of their gameplay and telling them like what to improve on, what not to. My credentials. I'm currently top 40 in the world on the Brutal Cybergrind leaderboard. So that's people kind of just they take my word for things because of that. Not to gloat. I'm just saying that's why this has kind of become a thing. This is Rocklight. He's the leader of the Jackhammer Church. I'm the high priest of the Jackhammer Church. Yes, I'm Jackhammer Prime. Nice to meet you. That's like better than a lot of people. Yeah, kind of. It is kind of just. It is kind of better than a lot of people. Did I miss anything important in the last hour? Not necessarily. We're just doing basic Cybergrind review, but I'll continue now. Yeah. So those two sentries are in a prime position to be hit with the Knuckle Blaster. Small tip: Knuckle Blaster can still knock back enemies even if they're idled. So even though this sentry is idled, you can punch him off the map. Here, I'll show you what I mean. Right? Here. Let's just do a little bit of imagination here. Okay, really? Well, I guess, okay. He's just gonna suck on when I do the thing. But yeah, so let's imagine this area down here is off the map, and this guy's gonna try to root himself down, right? From this position, I can push him off the map, despite him being idled. And even the other guy in this clip here, he isn't idled. So you can do it to him too. So I would say try not to play LOS like this. I mean, maybe you're not confident in your movement and your ability to get to them and do such a thing, but it would be smart to get into the habit of trying to punch sentries off the map instead of taking them on as 12 health enemies. Because you'll get to later times where they'll, like when they're Radiant, they'll have 18 health, and that's a lot harder of a matchup, especially when they're firing faster and like maneuvering faster and their fire rate is faster. You definitely want to get in the habit of punching them off the map when they're in opportune positions like this, instead of playing back. This Cerberus is not a threat, especially for this one right here. But yeah, that's my tip currently. John Jackhammer. Yeah, better than everyone except 39 other people. Yep. Nice. Love the split coin chains. Alright, we got Insurrectionists. Got Mind Flayers. Alright, so this is the correct play. I would say this is definitely the correct play. Focusing on the Insurrectionist first, just because he's in a really bad position right here. First of all, I would be playing more in this position because you have cover against the Maurice right here. But he's in a really bad position with his back up against a wall. You can easily get a conduction combo here and kill him very quickly. If you were to leave him alive in this position, he would terrorize you for like you being on this side of the map. But as it is now, especially with all of like these platforms here, enemies are going to be funneling in this way. It's going to take them a while to do so. This is the opportune time to kill this Insurrectionist. So I do want to commend you for making this play here. Okay. So it did take a minute. I would incentivize you to try to target the Insurrectionist more in that scenario, because you had just done like a conduction combo while he was on fire to him, and like you'd hit him with the you know, just I think you hit him with the jackhammer. Okay, here he's on fire, here's conduction. Oh, you hit him, yeah, you hit him with the E-rail, and you're about to do 2 conduction combos to him. Yeah, you definitely want to focus on the Insurrectionist more in that situation. Broccoli, best YouTuber to ever exist, and everyone should subscribe. In fact, his very existence is dire to the future, very fabric of the universe, and all things rotate around his uploads. This is true. Also, this is my girlfriend, and that's why she's saying this. I do recognize a swarm member in the wild. Do I recognize a swarm member? I don't know what that means. Broccoli, worst YouTuber to ever exist. Some people may believe that. Shotgun enthusiasts, they believe that, okay? But other than that, I will also say, very good idea to ignore the Mind Flayer in that scenario. The Mind Flayer is going to take a load of collateral damage from all of the conductions, and it's going to make like the solo matchup against her a lot easier with that Insurrectionist not pestering you. Heresy. If I have an Insurrectionist at low health and a full health Maurice, who do I one-shot? Depends on the positioning, but more often than not, I would say focus on the Insurrectionist. Just because the Insurrectionist can leave whatever position he's in really quickly, and at that point, it becomes really hard to kill him. Like, if he leaps into the air while he's at, like, you took the time to kill the Maurice instead of him, you have to deal with the whole rest of the enemies at that point, instead of just transitioning from killing the Insurrectionist to the Maurice, because the Maurice is a helpless little boy who's standing in place like a turret. You know what I mean? So I would say in more scenarios than not, kill the Insurrectionist, but there are definitely scenarios where you want to kill the Maurice, like if you want style, if you want healing, just if there's a Maurice in it, like if he's up top of one of these pillars and he can shoot anywhere around you, you want to make sure he's dead so that he's not killing you while you're trying to fight the Insurrectionist. I'm technically better at ULTRAKILL than a majority of the Earth's population. Absolutely true. Killer D saved himself from being burned at the stake by adding JK to that. Yeah. And not by me. By my community. Maurice is a floating target confirmed. Yeah. He's basically just like a little ball that sits in the air waiting to be killed. But will kill you if he gets the chance. Okay, this is most certainly interesting. So instead of so what I'm assuming happened here. Yeah, he was trying to get the most value out of killing these enemies in the fire. But also 4 Maurices did spawn in the area around this. You could have easily died here if these guys had locked in even slightly. Yeah, when you're running, I think you're running triple jackhammer. When you're running triple jackhammer, seeing 4 Maurices like this, you just want to kill the Maurices first. Let everyone marinate in the fire for a bit. Spread it out a little bit more as well. But let everyone marinate in the fire. You want to kill these Maurices first, because if they shoot a beam at you, their beam does 50 damage, and they can hit anything on the floor here to deal that 50 damage to you. Yeah, it is rough to be in that position, especially with Radiant Maurices. What fandom are you referring to? I don't even know. I'm making a V1 costume for Halloween yesterday. I started constructing it 3 days ago, and I have a bit of the head done. Does anyone have advice? For the head. Make the head comically large. It's my advice. I think that V1 in a lot of art has a really narrow head. And I think his actual current model has a very narrow head. Make his head look big. It just makes him look like even if you don't know the character, they're more approachable. Use Gutterman to one-shot all Sora's machine on the ground. You could do that. I'm risking my social perception by admitting to watch VTubers, but I'm referring to Neurosama's form. I don't know what that is. Use reflective paint? What? Oh, for the V1 costume? I watched Neurosama too. My man, thanks. Add a filter lens that the person in the costume sees like V1. Could do that, yeah. Just like put like tinted yellow glass on the lens. But yeah, anyway, let me continue. Yeah, because now you're dealing with the Maurices, and while you're not taking much, you can't take much of a risk in fighting like just a level full of nothing but Maurices. They're easy to deal with jackhammers. They were much more of a threat when yeah, that's rough. So if it doesn't work the first time, I would say just walk away from an idol that's being guarded by, what is that, a Radiant Cerberus? I think it's a Radiant Cerberus. Yeah, I think that's a Radiant Cerberus. If an idol is being guarded by a Radiant Cerberus and you're not confident that you can hit it, just stop trying after the first try. Try to do something else. Let him walk over to you in another location of the map, then come back to him. He's not a threat from a distance at all. Especially on like this part of the Cybergrind. So that's definitely something to think about. Neurosama is an AI VTuber, for those who don't know. AI VTuber? What does that mean? Like an AI language model that like has a VTuber model? It's gonna be mostly cardboard, glue, and tape. Oh yeah, that's fair. Radiant Maurice or two virtues? What is more dangerous? Easily two virtues. Oh my god, I have 18 viewers? Jeez. This is crazicles. Okay. Well, yeah. Anyway, let's continue. Yeah, like that's rough. And currently, for doing that, you were sitting on a C in style. You got the dash. Okay, it happens. Okay, so you did whiplash cancel. That would have what you were trying to do would have worked, where you would hit them with the hammer, look down, use the saw. But yeah, you did whiplash cancel, and I think you are just used to whiplash canceling. You should try to break that habit as much as you can. Make that a deliberate choice rather than something that you do more often than not, like on a default. I thought you were referring to Swarm. Wait, hold on. The AIs are taking over. We're about to have a third long night. One of the only good AIs. There it is. Swarm wasn't sure what to make of fandoms. My question was vague. As you should, and everyone should like and subscribe. Amen. I did subscribe. I'm glad you did. Makes me very happy. Anyway, let's continue. Alright, so this is definitely a misplay. You put all that oil down in like mostly good position, and you didn't light it on fire. You hit the head of a Cerberus, I think, or something like that. Yeah, you hit the head of a Cerberus instead.
Hello.
You definitely. Hello?
Hey, it's me.
Why am I hearing you?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm still in VC. I'm streaming right now.
Oh, my bad. Hold on,
No,
I'll
you're
leave.
fine. No, you're fine. I'll leave. I shouldn't be in VC. This is my friend. Sorry, guys.
Let
Like
me watch
17
your
people.
stream.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry about that. I forgot I was in a Discord VC. Friend jump scare, yeah. Everyone make Broccolight happy by subscribing. Yes, make me happy. Damn, he got trolled by his friend. Yeah, there he is. Ham sandwich is here. That was the person who joined me. Anyway, as I was saying, um, Yeah, you hit the head of the Cerberus here instead of hitting the oil. Uh, you definitely want to make sure this oil is ignited as much as possible. If you had chosen to stay up here, maybe the Cerberus may have thrown an apple and that would have ignited it, or maybe, I don't know, any other explosion could have happened. But instead, you went down to fight the Hideous Mass. And while you should be fighting the Hideous Mass, like, without this oil, all of the enemies spawning over here, and trust me, a lot of them spawn over here, are not going to take damage. And it's, if, let's say an insurrectionist or like, some run ender was here, you would lose a lot of value that way. Like think like stalkers. Nice. I like your decision to focus on the gutterman because that's the damage to everything. Alright, we've got idols. Yeah, you gotta abandon the nail dream. You gotta deal with those idols. So when you see like, especially on like this wave, you'll get used to this as you play more. When you see like 3 idols show up and like very few enemies spawn, that is your cue to get up and deal with those idols and stop doing your pregame stuff. Because your pregame stuff is gonna do nothing when there's like a bunch of like, high health, fast enemies. And a bunch of idols, and like most of them are idled, you know what I mean? So deal with these idols first. Just drop this nail gun activity. Maybe put some oil down because it's just something to do and it's harmless. But yeah, deal with these idols first and foremost. 20 viewers, wow. People like this. They like this Cybergrind review stuff, and also just having fun conversations in chat. God damn it, Brocklight's friend. He was cooking in the game and you messed him up. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunate. By the way, subscribing to Brocklight is free. Absolutely true. Best thing you'll do in your entire life. Oh no, Delta mentioned. Oh god, we're switching gears here. Inconceivable. Oh yeah, but I mean, you get the memo now, right? You've seen that all of the enemies are basically stalker here. You want to play far back, so I would not play down here. Definitely being carried by the fact that that parry hardcore. Again, you gotta set that oil up. And now the oil's not gonna get much value. Yeah. Nice. Nice pivot. Alright, that was a pretty easy wave, no special. Again, you have this habit of putting, I was correct initially, you have this habit of putting the oil in the center of the map. It's okay, but again, like, enemies are going to be walking up these stairs and now coming here this way instead of through the fire. Enemies that spawn in this down area, they're going to get affected for, like 2-3 seconds maybe. Take 2-3 damage, but yeah. You could be doing a lot better. Also, you're spending a lot of time in the center of the map. There are many Maurices on the edge. You got to be very aware of those Maurices. Yeah, see, I mean, Red Gauge is punishing you like crazy there. I think it's just, if you look up the World Looks Red Vocaloid, you'll find it, because this doesn't credit it correctly. The other one did though. But yeah, using Red Gauge there definitely put you in a bad position where it seemed like you had fewer options to deal with the rest of the Maurices. They're going to spawn in a lot more plenty numbers. You want to focus on, like here. I don't know if you know this, but... I don't know if you know this, but you can kill Maurice literally just a yellow gauge and a knuckle blaster. And you could do that in multiple ways, right? Do whip hop. You can do a whip hop very easily. You can just pull yourself straight into it. If you get the parry, that's convenient. You don't need the knuckle blaster, but you should be getting in the habit of doing it anyway. But yeah, that's what I mean. Buddy's a conduction enjoyer. Yeah. I mean, conduction is addictive. Look, it can seem like it's amazing to just sit in this like crowd here and just spam conduction. But, you know, these Maurices will be run enders. Despite your style. It's a really good cover. I don't even think it's a cover. I think it's just the actual song and then they put Vocaloid lyrics over it. Yo, hey Pizza Man. For those who don't know, Pizza Man is we're literally like buddy, like literally next to each other on the leaderboard. It's awesome. I can't believe I know someone who's like directly next to me on the leaderboard and we have like the same opinions. It's great. I should definitely make some more ULTRAKILL videos just for the hell of it. Yeah, of course. And if you submit an update to your ULTRAKILL Cybergrind stuff, then I'll review it and I'll shout you out. My mic is ever so slightly too quiet. Is that better? I know that like I'm when I like face a certain direction, it's because when I face a direction, my mic, it doesn't pick up my full voice. But okay, good to know. Let me turn it up just a little bit more. If anyone likes to cheat, Annika, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. The shilling is crazy. They're gonna see this in the video. I might make this a video. We'll see. Yeah, it is really cool. Pizza Man, a fellow object man. Truth nuke. Thank you very much. I'm flattered. All right, let's continue. Ooh, accidentally did a Maurice nuke there. Interesting. Alright, now the virtues are spawning. I want to see how you handle the virtues. Just the one? Alright, yeah. You did what you were supposed to. I don't mind if you use red gauge on virtues. They are like must deal with threats. Though I will say, since you like using jackhammer, I'll show you this cool thing you can do against virtues for a one-shot. This is something, as far as I'm concerned, I discovered with the help of a viewer. But yeah, basically, with virtues, right, they have 10 health. And if you try to hit them with a yellow gauge, that does 6 damage. Plus a punch that does 7 damage. And you can kill them with a parry just with, yellow gauge. But that's unreliable, right? I even did it wrong. I'm an idiot. Yeah, you can kill a virtue during their parry window. Very easily. Just like that. But you can also kill them. Wow, I did it wrong. Holy, I'm so rusted. How am I so bad? What the heck? You do this correctly. There you go. That's what I was trying to do. I don't know why I didn't get that. I'm struggling so hard right now, guys. How am I not able to do my own thing? There you go. It's easy to do, I'm just messing it up. There's this very consistent virtue kill you can do by knocking your body on top of the virtue during the jackhammer hit stop, and also adding a pump, because normally when you use a pump on a virtue, it won't deal the damage. Here, let me add a health bar to visualize. Yeah, so I did 6 damage to him. I should have done 9.5, obviously, but I did 6 damage to him because he got knocked out of the blast radius of the explosion. So what you can do actually is you can use a feedbacker, and you can turn your body on top of the virtue to correct it. Like that. So your body will interrupt its backwards velocity, and it will get sent flying into the explosion. I messed it up, but if I do it correctly. I'm so idiotic, chat. There you go. It's normally very consistent. I don't know why I'm messing it up so much, but yeah. Easy peasy. What are you guys saying? Also, I'll just retrain myself in the next few days playing ULTRAKILL. Then when I get a bit better, I'll go ahead and sub another video. Of course, yeah. Maybe when you get like a really good PB. The world looks red. Oh yeah, you found the song. Why does the Knuckle Blaster exist? Is it stupid? I mean, the Knuckle Blaster is just kind of like the knockback punch weapon. Kind of like a weird mini jackhammer effect. The explosion is actually one of the best features when you get up to the higher levels of the Cybergrind, unfortunately. Because at that point, when there's so many more races on the board, if you just spam Knuckle Blaster explosion, the projectiles will just deflect and kill everything around you. And you'll get a lot of style in doing so you can basically win just doing that. But yeah, it's good. It's just not as good as the feedbacker, obviously. It just has different uses. Knuckle Blaster exists that Brocklight can make videos about it to teach us why it exists. Exactly. It's a paradox. No, it just makes sense. Hi, hello, Boxcat. Knuckle Blaster is just an annoyance. Brocklight is a Knuckle Blaster an annoyance. Yes, actually. There is one thing I don't like about the Knuckle Blaster. And I will show you right now. One thing that bothers me so much is that the Knuckle Blaster doesn't come out during hit stop. It's delayed. So I don't know if you saw, I pressed the Knuckle Blaster button during hit stop, but it came out delayed. And so with the jackhammer combined, there are circumstances where if you're not close enough to the enemy, it won't come out in time to hit the enemy. But like, compare that to the feedbacker. The feedbacker will always hit the enemy because it comes out immediately during hit stop. Right? So, yeah. Anyway, let's continue. What did I miss? I think, yeah, this is the Virtue wave. There's a Mind Flare on this wave as well. Honestly, I don't have much to say. Normal Mind Flayers aren't that difficult, though I would say to simplify, you should probably focus on the Mind Flayer first, given you're running triple jackhammer, and you have the tools to deal a lot of single target damage, so that's kind of just like an off-handed comment. Nice. You make sure you're still recording. So if I'm correct, first Knuckle Blaster, then Hammer. Kinda. You can do that. It's just a weird timing to have to do that. I don't know, because like the weird thing about it is that you can either Knuckle Blaster before you hammer, which works, or you can just be close enough to the enemy to hammer, then Knuckle Blaster, and then your Knuckle Blaster will connect during the back blast. It's weird. I don't know. It's just like, I don't like using it. It's why I don't incorporate it into my Jack Shots tech. It's just like, feedbacker is so much more consistent. Also, I just recently learned Knuckle Blaster plus Jack Off Hammer can one-shot a Hideous Mass, which kind of makes it useful, I guess. I mean, there are a lot of ways to one-shot a Hideous Mass, but yeah. I'm assuming you mean an overpump red gauge. Usually I Knuckle Blaster then Hammer. That works, yeah, it absolutely works. It's just, it's not for me. I don't know. Like, if I'm trying to do, like, cool Whiplash stuff, it's just, like, a nuisance. Yeah. Okay. We just like this now? I feel like this is the wave they're gonna die on now. Okay. Got double virtue. I think one of those is radiant. Yep, this is wave 49. You want to kill that guy immediately. Nice. Okay. Wow. That is really sad. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Quick tip for everyone in chat. Never use the malicious rail cannon. Boom. Anyway, can we get some malicious rail cannon hate in the chat right now? Boo? Are you booing me or are you booing the malicious rail cannon? As soon as you pause your game, your run is cursed. Absolutely. Yeah, I know. That's why I anticipated this. I like triple Death Stars and Hideous Mass. Yes. Also, why is Gabriel harder in the first fight than in the second? No idea. I guess just because more attacks are parryable in the second fight. I survived an insert and 3 virtues only to die to a schism. Yeah, it happens. Schisms are like the sneak attack killers. Both? I hate malignant rail cannon. Okay. Bro, what's the highest Cybergrind PB clip that you've reviewed so far? Highest PB clip was like 66, but the person with the highest PB is 79 so far. And that was in my previous stream. No amount of hate in the billions of wires in my system to equate 1/1000th of the amount of hate I have for the Malrail. Amen. Don't complain, just cry. Well, I mean, you tell me. Do you think this person would be complaining or crying at the end of this? Probably both. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I like Mal Cannon. Do I belong here? No, I mean, it's mostly a joke. It's kind of like a running bit in every stream that I just tell everyone in the chat to start hating on the malicious rail cannon. At least for the ultra boosts. Okay, so you're a speedrunner user. Speedrunner, sorry. Oh lol. Yeah, it's just a bit. Though I personally don't like it. Real talk, I don't like it. Anyway, let's see this. Okay, so your PB is 64. Yeah, so that definitely shows me that like you generally understand how to deal with insurrectionists. You generally understand how to deal with mind flayers. All this other stuff. I would say my top tips for you: be proactive with your fire starter oil. Definitely be very mindful where you put your saws when you anticipate using the jump start for conduction. As well, what was the final thing? I literally just had it in my head. Dude, screw my stupid Brocco Light, bro. Oh my gosh. What was I gonna say? Tell me, guys, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. And finally, you should try to get better at using your oil in places on the Cybergrind map where it can target high traffic zones. You're usually putting it in the center of the map, and while that's definitely like a step up from most people, you want to put them by stairs and places where enemies are going to be going a lot when you're going to be transitioning in areas around the map. Um, some general tips. Let me see. What did you say in the thing? Oh yeah, right. You said you wanted help with dealing with Radiant Maurices. Just make sure you're learning the combos with the jackhammer so that you're not putting them on red gauge. They're going to be spawning a lot more in the higher waves, and as I can see, you've probably gotten to the point where like 3 of them are spawning at once. Yeah, you want to focus a lot on using jackhammers with yellow gauge instead of red gauge. Because remember that yellow gauge jackhammers will deal 13 damage to Maurice instead of 6. So it's like a hyper weakness for them. If you hit them with red gauge, it does 19. It's a weird number to play around, but I mean, I guess you can red gauge and yellow gauge to kill a Radiant Maurice. But you definitely don't want to try to do that. You want to be focusing on either getting a parry to hit them between 2 yellow gauges, or you want to use yellow gauge plus Knuckle Blaster twice. And those are very consistent kills. Fuck no, I just like going fast and ain't doing any of that shit that's mentally... Yeah, no, they're mentally ranged. Slash, you're an awesome guy. Are you saying that to the speedrunners? I have bad memory. Okay. I'm glad you're saying this. Hello, Ethan. Why are you Ethan? Yeah, why are you Ethan? Ethan. Okay. Yeah, nice job. Why are you Ethan? The one from the Discord server. Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember you. Hi. Glad you could catch a stream. Yeah, so those are all the tips I'd give you. Just to recap, use Fire Shatter proactively, not reactively, though you can do both. And you should do both. Try not to use Red Gauge on Jackhammer nearly as much. Learn the combos for the kill confirms. As well, oh yeah, try to catch sentries in positions where they could be knocked off the map instead of killed, raw. Because Radiant sentries are going to come and they're going to be very evil. As well, like if they're idled, you can just kill them while they're idled. Try using oil on stairs or high traffic zones instead of just the center of the map. Try not to play in the center of the map as much when you know multiple Maurices are spawning. Try to kill Maurices first, generally speaking. Keep doing what you're doing to insurrectionists. I think that you have a pretty good way to deal with them. Though I would recommend using the screwdriver on them if you are having a harder time. If you throw a screwdriver on them, that's going to be like literally piece of cake, easy matchup. You could do whatever you want at that point in the matchup. But yeah, that's all I got to say about this so far. You made some interesting decisions like saw placements when trying to do conduction plays, but hey, we can all work on that. That's a pretty simple fix. Yeah, that's all I got to say. What's your number one tip for a new player getting into high waves in the Cybergrind? I mean, a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this, not in this chat specifically, but just use the jackhammer. Jackhammer will teach you how to be good at this game. It's just true. Have at least 1 or 2 at the very least. If you're going triple shotgun, you're literally just trying to prove that you can go higher waves with triple shotgun. And while you can, you're not going to learn nearly as much as if you used like just a bunch of jackhammers. As a triple jackhammer enthusiast, I'm saying that. So run 1, 2, or 3 jackhammers. Jack Enjoyer propaganda. Yeah, exactly. That's what everyone relegates me to. You got the jackhammer 5 minutes ago? Oh my gosh. I don't know if you know anything about my channel, but I have so much content related to the jackhammer. If you are interested in viewing, I can teach you some stuff right now off the bat, because I can probably teach a bunch of people here in this chat that don't know stuff about the jackhammer right now. Boo, I'm angry at the opinion that isn't well regarded. Yeah, that's like a lot of the ULTRAKILL community. At least in the New Blood server, that's generally what I get received with. Is there a point to where the waves don't get any higher? No, they get. Oh no, there is a point where they don't. They stop getting more difficult and they actually just get easier. Yeah, they straight up just get easier at a certain point. Though there are some like enemy combinations that are really difficult, but for the most part, waves do just generally get easier. Like if you get like 4 Mind Flayers, 3 Insurrectionists, half of them are, you know, Radiant, and you get Virtues and Sentries, that's going to be a difficult wave, obviously. But if it's just like some Sentries, mostly Maurices, mostly Guttermen, you know, Swords Machine, Cerberus, easy wave. Easiest wave you've ever seen, even if there's like 10 of each of them. You know what I mean? I do want to know why Jack is so good for Cyber, though I'm not good on movement. The reason why is because... So the Cybergrind is this small map in a big open area. You want to consider the fact that you have this ginormous area around you when you're playing on the Cybergrind. Here, I'll hop in the Cybergrind right now. You very strongly want to consider the fact that you have this big open area around the map, right? And that's why the rocket launcher is also really good. Because you could just go transition around the map like this, but... This is a crazy wave. Yeah, but you see what I'm doing, right? Revenge gauge might kill me here. Like, you can't do half the stuff I'm doing without the jackhammer. Also, I just totally killed myself. Your starting wave is higher than my personal record? Yeah, I get that a lot. How does one deal with a million bajillion mind flayers? You prey on, what's it called? Friendly fire damage. Balkan, have you seen my incredibly scuffed gameplay? Not sure. I don't really recognize your YouTube name from your Discord name. Jesus? Oh. Can you tell me how to ride the rocket launcher in the air? I can't seem to get to... Okay, I can help you with that. I had a dream today where I was playing Treachery against V2, and then he got out of the screen and killed me in real life. Okay. Sad. So the tech is pretty simple. All I'm really doing is shooting the rocket out like that, and then dashing onto it. The big thing with this tech, you want to look horizontally, like this, and then down like 15 degrees or so. That's mostly how you're going to do it, because you got to remember that the rocket is aimed where my feet is going to be, right? So like, here, I mean, it's supposed to be like, you're supposed to do that, and then the rocket catches you. Here. It's weird to explain. Let me show you what I'm supposed to do with the rocket without dashing and moving onto it. So here's what I'm trying to do. Looking down slightly, shooting the rocket, freezing it, and then unfreezing it in the middle of my dash to have the rocket catch me under my feet. So I'll do it slowly. Right? That's hardly slowly, but let me see if I can slow the game down a bit. There. So what I'm trying to do is shoot the rocket below and have it catch my feet by unfreezing it, right? I'm trying to look down in time for you to see it. You see? Yeah. And the timing is tough sometimes, and obviously you need to have stamina to use it, but it's very, very good. Also Death Stars, absolutely, yeah. Because in this position, you can go from here. Oh, okay, that's not a Death Star. You go from here to here. That's also not a Death Star. Here. I don't know why I'm sucking at everything today. Today's just not my day for ULTRAKILL. Yeah, I'm just doing nukes. There you go. Yeah, you could do double Death Stars like that. I haven't played Cybergrind that much. This looks like Maxwell's editing style of the level, huh? Would you prefer it if going out of bounds at Cybergrind wasn't instant death and instead just damage penalty? I don't know. I think just keep it the way it is so people are... I don't know, it just shouldn't change. Like, maybe if it started that way, I wouldn't have a problem. But I think it's just easier to say keep it as it is. I thought I had Woodrow Cannon. So the reason why like waves like 70 to 90 are harder is because they're regarded as low density waves. As you saw on that map, I got like one Maurice to spawn, and Maurices are really good for style. So when few of them spawn, you are gonna have like a style deficit. Okay, this is how I play. Got a cool induction. One thing I'm doing there is I'm throwing oil into the air so that by the time the oil comes down, the previous oil that I've left on the floor will be gone. And then now oil is going to fall on the floor and cause more fire damage, which isn't really useful now because the ascendants are dead, but really consider if I had taken more time. What is my loadout? So I don't know if you'll know what I mean when I say this, but I'm going AAD for pistols, I'm going AAA for jackhammers, so triple jackhammer, and then ADA for my nail guns. Do you think higher radiance tiers should be? No, absolutely not. Why is the jump start saw blade better? I wouldn't say it's better. I had that opinion before. It's just, I mean, I kind of do think it's better in a lot of ways, but the jump nail is just way easier to use. I don't know. I mean, the reason why I think it's better is because you don't really need more nails when you have the overheat nail gun. So, in saying like, in thinking you need more nails with the jump nail, it feels kind of redundant. I feel like you need more saws and a lot more times than you need nails. What are the differences between jump start? Not much. One of them just has saws, one of them has nails. It's just both of them have infinite of those. I hate Radiant Virtue so much. I hate them so much. I hate them so much. Death Star the Red Virtue? Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done. Especially with, like, when I had, like, the Gunnerman aiming at me and everything. I could die here. Yeah, like the rocket launcher, being able to do this in the middle of the Cybergrind is so convenient. I'm an idiot. I love double slams so much. God, they're so nice. That was also incredibly sexy. Okay, did I just grab that gutter tank's rocket? I could die here. I mostly complain to the Cyber, but I'm curious if some text can be applied there. Yeah, I mean, for the most part. Jack Shots is a lot better against Radiant enemies, so it's not as good in the campaign, but it is doable against, like, you know, Insurrectionists and Mind Flayer. So I switch out my Blue Saw, Green Nail, and Red Saw for Red Saw. They're both good. They're just different ways of playing. One of them focuses a lot more on conduction. Like getting like the pop value. Totally microdosing myself with higher and higher FOV. Good, good, love to see it. Still conceivable how you play with this FOV. Listen, 160 is just the way, I don't know what to say. Could you review my gameplay next? I think it's around 12 minutes. After this run, we'll see how I'm feeling. And then, yeah, I might review your gameplay. How do you think the new enemies... Are you in the server and have you submitted the gameplay? Because those are the prerequisites for doing so. In the description of this video, you can join the Discord. And fill out the template and submit that, and by the time I finish this run, I should be able to review it. How do you think the new enemies will change Cybergrind? I have no idea. I'm happy that I'm gonna try my best not to think about what might happen. I just know that the default sharpshooter is gonna get a lot better. That's all. Rocklight, you said you would do my run incredibly scuffed this stream. Oh, I did say I would do that. We do manage democracy. Same, I think, every 5 days ago. Alright, so I think we'll see Lord Voldy Moldies first, and then maybe next stream we'll do the Ansic. But I want to finish this run first. Like, that's absurd. The fact that the Korajek Jackhammer can do that is just absurd. It should not be allowed to do that. It's criminal. Yeah, like waves like these are just instant easy. Just done. Because so many Guttermen and so many Maurices spawn, they just kill each other. Ooh, I did the nuke. I did the nuke. Yep, I did the nuke. With the Maurice. See, you don't even need the Korajek shotgun for that. I made a video on triple nukes recently using Maurice. I don't even need him, man. Whip hopping in action. Yeah, it does. It feels sick too. Yeah, I'm trying to get back into the groove of playing more Cybergrind. I've been doing other things lately, just to see like I can actually afford to critique others. Also, I just did a glorious rocket nuke. Sick. Die here. Fine. Don't worry, 9 times out of 10 Cybergrind runs and not confused. We have 91, oh my gosh. Yeah, so you guys are gonna start to see why the game actually just becomes easier at a certain point. Die here. Oh my, wow, that was lucky. Okay, wow, really? Where did that even detonate on? That was so weird. You guys see how that projectile detonated? Do you think Fairman's lightning is a good way to do... Yes, it is. Absolutely is. How hard do you think it'd be to do all this on a controller? It would be... I would rip my hair out trying. Gotta admit, whip popping is cool. Just recorded a short run of a dozen waves, but I'm a little tired. Didn't cook well. Still gonna submit it in a minute. Maybe do it later. Very cool. Why don't you do the heatsink cycle tech with the nail gun? I do occasionally, but sometimes it's better to just get the conduction out faster. Also, I lost the muscle memory for it some time ago. Don't worry, 9 times out of 10 circuits. If someone were to call you a vegetable, would it be an insult since, like, broccolite? I mean, I guess it wouldn't be an insult, it would be accurate, right? There you go. Jeez, man. The only reason I survived that was because Gutterman and you're evil. You're evil. You're evil. You're evil. Okay, evil down. Holy, this is hard to commentate on. This could be a crazy conduction combo. Yeah, there you go. And most of the wave is dead. Too much for a casual player. It's true. I guess this should be a really good wave though. Unless I throw like really hard like I'm about to. You're annoying. I hate. Okay, dude. The Radiant Mind Flare teleported on top of my rocket. That's so awesome. I love when they do that. They're so fair. Such fair enemies. When you stream next time? Last stream was like, yeah, this one's like 6. I mean, I just stream whenever, really. I am EST, so good night, Kareem. PB on standard is 40. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, I have like 1,600 hours in the game, so to be fair, like 500 of those is spent like in the sandbox. But watch your videos to improve at Cybergrind. You have caused me to use all through Jackhammer. God bless and amen. Hell yes. Oh my gosh, I love hearing that. Favorite level? It's tied between these two, honestly. I really like In the Wake of Poseidon. I just love water. The water movement in this game is really fun. Highest out of the faster damage recharge. Yep. Yeah, no, a lot of runs in the higher waves, they just straight up don't end. You gotta be forced out of it. Dual hammer enjoyer, can't live without projectile boosting. It's fair. No, honestly, and I will say, the sawed-on shotgun is very underrated. I don't know if I can still pull off the tech, but I can try. Yeah, doing that. Double boosting is really good. And you can really easily only do it with this weapon. You know what I mean? What I just do? Basically what I'm doing is, because I'm moving as fast as my projectiles when I whiplash, you see how like I'm catching up to them? I basically have enough time to double parry it. Here, I'm doing it wrong. This is how you know I don't use the shotgun. But doing so costs like both your, like look at my arm exhaustion, right? Costs both my punches. But if I use the chainsaw and I punch the chainsaw, it recovers my punch exhaustion. Well, that was bad, but you can do it 3 times that way. Get a lot of damage. So that can be up to like, well, it's insurrectionist, so it's like a lot of damage. I don't know. I can't do the math right now. 6.75 outward, 6.75 backward. It's 13.5 plus 3.5 plus 3.5. It's like a lot of damage. Like 20 damage to an insert in one volley. Yeah, you can use the whiplash to do it, or you can dash as well. But I'm not really good at the dash version. There you go. It's just very tight inputs. Yeah. You can do it on every volley. You get some momentum. Walking is enough. Yeah, walking is enough. It's just very tight windowed input, especially for someone like me who uses jackhammer mostly. P boosting is so, yeah, there you go. It's, oh, there's also another thing that you can do with the shotgun, which is pretty cool. Melee range P boosts. Okay, why do I suck? Melee range P boosts are really good. Because do you use a swap key for the arms? I use my shoulder button on my mouse for that. But yeah, if you're point blank against an enemy, so okay, so normally if I like projectile boost from here, all the projectiles will fly away, right, as you can see. But if I'm point blank and I projectile boost, the projectiles will hit him before the explosion blasts them away. Causing him to take like 6.25 damage. It's a lot of damage. So you can basically do like yellow gauge type stuff with the shotgun in a very tight window, though you will explode and hit yourself, and you won't get back blast unless you hit yourself, kinda. So it's kind of like a discount jackhammer a little bit without hit stop tech, but it's pretty good. You could do all that with the Corjack shotgun as well, but you're basically using a weapon without a secondary for like the whole time you use the Corjack shotgun. So the weapon just sucks, in my opinion. And I mean, the pump charge is alright. You know, you have that. 10 damage every like 1.5 seconds. A little bit longer than that. And you have to use a dash. Or you can just, okay, well I suck, but and I suck at this. Yeah. You can pump during hit stop with this thing, so Like, I'll be at 2 pumps, right? It should do that, but I can pump during hit stop and get the overpump. You teach 2 tech, I didn't know, lol. Also, you think it's valid to use shotguns in the main campaign? Yeah, of course. No, I mean, shotguns are good. Everything but the core eject shotgun is good in my opinion. Get some momentum. Yeah, okay. Just making sure I'm caught up. I mean, like, the sawed-on jackhammer is also pretty good for different reasons, but yeah. Another reason why... Okay, well, first of all, there's like a million reasons why you wouldn't use the core eject shotgun over the core eject jackhammer, right? Let's do this. First of all, Death Stars. It's a lot of damage. Another thing, well, you can do double Death Stars as well. Right, still a lot of damage. That's like the same amount of damage as an overpump on a shotgun. Another thing you can do. Okay, I'm bad. I messed it up, but core jams. Right? All very good. I think actually... Okay, I suck, but hold on. I'm trying to do something right now. I think you can whip hop. Yeah, you can whip hop out of it to backblast yourself without getting sucked into the explosion. Cool stuff. See shotgun for nukes. I see go fit more for long. Yeah, but like again, why would you want a long range nuke when you could just like, you know, I literally have the malicious roll cannon unequipped. That's how much I don't like it. Like, I suck. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Hold on. This is what I'm trying to do. There you go. Like, if the nuke is on myself, it's a lot better than if it's not. Spawn them in again. This time I won't mess it up. There you go. I just killed like every Maurice. Cause the nuke was on myself. Yeah, I accidentally did a screwdriver. As well, using the core eject jackhammer, you can do hit stop nukes by nuking in the middle of your hit stop. That one shots gutter tanks, very good during the campaign. There you go. Something funny about small enemies, if they're in the air and you whiplash them to the ground, yeah, exactly. That's also a very funny thing you could do. Yep, there you go. But yeah, should I do... What do we think? Should I do another Cybergrind review? Should I call it here? Proactive, like, insert just a normal enemy. No, I'm trying to, like, fire is just so strong against the insurrectionist. It goes from 75 health to 50. It's like nothing for a jackhammer. Do you think having... Don't ask if, like, having a certain amount of hours in a certain amount of time is okay. Like, you know, it doesn't really matter. You don't do Cybergrind review, I'm leaving. As someone who has literally never shown up here, hi, hello. Radiant sentries make me want to tear off my skin. Yeah, that's fair. I actually almost just died to one earlier. Yeah, you should. If it isn't that long of a video, yeah. Hey, could you do another small review? Hey, what's up, chat? Hey, Sewers Machine. I'll probably leave in like 20 minutes, so yeah, we'll see. Let me see. Any new things posted and by who? Is the guy who said he wanted his... Yeah, Lord. Yeah, okay. So what's your username in this server? Trying to find your thing. I see Ethan's thing is here. I see the Ansix as well, which is the person who asks for their thing to be reviewed. Sorry, let me put my microphone here so. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, we'll do this one. Wave 40. Cool. I don't have any audio, though. There's no audio. Can you guys hear it? Because I can't hear it. No sound. All right, well, you have to make up somehow. Let me think. Okay, no, that's not what I want. No, I need something more quiet. There we go. Hold on, this is a little loud. Alright. So, let me get your wave start. Nice oil in the beginning. Alright, I like this. I like what I'm seeing. Interesting. Okay, so reverse rail cannon combo. Pretty good way of dealing with the swords machines. You could have just used oil though, to be fair. Decent, I like it, I like it. That was interesting. I'm having a hard time finding words. Nice. Okay, Insurrectionist. Double, oh my, wow. Good parry. Cool. Also very cool. I am at a loss for words. Okay, nice fup. Nice dodges. Okay, so you know the sentry easy kill. This is... this is the music is insane. Taking this very slowly, which is fair. I genuinely can't, like, figure out what your plan is for, like, every wave yet. You kind of... Okay, so there's the oil again. I think what you've been trying to do this whole time is fup. Yeah, there. That's what you're trying to do. Coming in first is nice. Okay. So I guess I'm just wondering... What's your bad matchup here? Because you're taking things slowly, which is good. One of the best players in the world plays very slowly. Yeah, it just seems like the only problem I'm seeing is that you're very unrehearsed with a lot of this tech. You're just kind of like doing it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. My head matchup is my own stupidity. No, I mean, like, I think literally you just need to practice techniques more. Okay, no, Equinox, sorry. I just realized you just joined. Yeah, so there's no audio to this actual game, so... Oh, it's you, Anti-Orphan Machine. Oh, I know you. Oh my god, wait. Acting like you're just a random. Because ULTRAKILL's quirky. Alright, how do you deal with Mind Flayers? Okay, Railcoin combo. You did miss a lot of the Mind Flayer. Wait, what difficulty is this? Hold on. Brutal, okay. Just making sure. This is so fun to watch. I'm waiting for like the next best thing to happen. Okay, yeah, you definitely... Here's one thing I'm noticing. Let me pause this. Here's one thing I'm noticing. You're spending a lot of time, like... How do I explain this? So when you're using the jackhammer, during hit stop, you don't ever backblast in a direction you want to go in, and you'll always try to dash to cancel the backblast. It's like what shotgun players do when they try to use the jackhammer for the first time. Yeah, you definitely want to work on trying to backblast with the jackhammer in a direction that's preferable for you. Instead of trying... Also, I have been full screened this whole time. I'm an idiot. Yeah, you want to try to use your backblast to your advantage. So, like, for instance, when you were up here... Nice fup. Yeah, like here, against that Cerberus, I could tell you were spamming your dash here. And then you finally got your dash to cancel the backblast, right? Instead, if you wanted to fight that Maurice or the Gutterman behind you, you could have just backblasted backwards into the Gutterman or up to this Maurice. And then here you do it again. You know that Maurice is enraged, so he's below half health. Why do you have to dash to get out? You know what I mean? You could have just angled this way in this direction over here, backblasted this way, and then done whatever rocket combo you're trying to do. And then you nuke. It's funny. You do the same thing again. Very nice. All right, let's get this entertainer music back. Okay. Railcoin combo for the hideous mass. Interesting. I'd say there's much cheaper ways to deal with hideous masses. Yeah, like that. So you don't need to use a rail cannon, but it gets the job done at this level. Triple jackhammer enthusiast, though. I gotta respect it. Let me see what y'all are saying. Uh... Brutal difficulty flares when they proceed to hit you for 5 octillion damage from blue orb recurves. Yep. The smaller than full screen helps realize when it's review versus your gameplay demonstrations. That's true. Oh, great Brocculite, I require your insight for a question I have been pondering for some time. I wonder what wave will be reached and what absurd idle sanded enemy combos we've seen. What question do you have? Hi chat. Hi Earth Mover 1000 THR. Sorry. We're just hanging out right now. Yeah, I know we've got a handful of machines here. It's gonna be the Brad Filth. What's up, literal Earth Mover? So my question is, why are so many ULTRAKILL? I mean, I don't really have the answer for you. I mean, I know that, like, a lot of the dev team behind ULTRAKILL is, like, gay or trans. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it has much to do with it, with their mindset in designing it, and maybe that comes out, like, some, you know, some conscious LGBTQ, like, I don't know, like, maybe, like, some... Just generally what people in those communities might be the same in this game. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you. No, we know you're not saying it's not a. We know you're not saying it's a bad thing. I just don't have an answer. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. All right. Let's see how you deal with virtues. Okay, interesting. Up. Okay. I mean, I like your priorities. Going for Maurice's first. So far, all I have to say is, like, the jackhammer hit stop thing for sure. And then also, like, you just seem out of practice with a lot of tech. And you do often stand still when you're using your Railcoin combos, which is never gonna slide. Unlike the later waves. Good parries. Very patient, playing for the parries. Hitting a lot of green gauges. Maybe focus on trying to get consistent yellow gauges. Because remember, jumping, whiplashing, whip hopping, sliding, all these things are very good for getting yellow gauge. And at a very cheap price. Also weird that you kind of just set up that whole, like, nail combo and just kind of neglected it. I think you do have to wait a little more for when the actual, like, stage sets in for you to do those combos. Because putting it on the stairs clearly didn't help. That virtue is half a hit point. Overkill. Nice. This is really funny to watch. Yeah, I'm also very entertained by this music. So far, you've just been pitted up against, like, okay, like, the virtue insert thing was definitely interesting to watch, but that was, like, the first time you've been put under hot coals so far. Alright, Mind Flayer in a tight corner. With a Ferryman. 2 Mind Flayers. Red Gauge. Nice core jam. I think you're literally gonna die, cause like, either you stand still doing a Railcoin combo and you just get punched off the map or something, or like, Maurice shoots your rocket while you're riding it, like some dumb, like, thing. Oh, nice fup. A lot of sentries. I can tell this is a done deal. Your setup is the same every time. It totally works. Yeah, okay, so you keep fupping incorrectly. You definitely want to either, like, throw the rocket directly up and follow up with an immediate whiplash, like literally next frame. Or you could do it horizontally. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. Throw the rocket in the direction that you're moving. That's generally the tip I want to offer you. So if you're moving, like, if you follow my mouse, if you're moving up this way, you want to shoot the rocket this way. You know, if you're moving this way, you shoot the rocket this way. That's like a really good tip I would suggest. And if you're jumping this way, obviously you have an arc, try to aim more up, because remember that your upward velocity is like this. If you just aim straight while you're jumping, the rocket's gonna get sucked underneath you during your upwards velocity. And you don't want that to happen, because that's happened to you multiple times. So that's another tip I would suggest. You're also not, like, confirming certain things with weapons. Like, you're charging up something on a weapon and then you just swap to the next weapon without using it. Again, like, a lot of this stuff is just, like, being out of practice, it feels. Yep, Radiant Maurice wave is correct. And then this is the Radiant Cerberus wave, I believe. Jeez, that was lucky. Yeah, you gotta look behind you when you're fighting a... Here's another tip. Don't let this happen where you're fighting a Mind Flayer that's off stage with your back turned to the rest of the stage, like this. Don't let this happen. You either want to fight her next to the stage, on stage, or below the stage. Those are your best places to fight the Mind Flayer. Because right now you're just being beamed by everything. Like, absolutely everything. Even though this Mind Flayer is the priority here, it's merely the fact that, like, you can't block a Mind Flayer behind a wall. She'll just teleport, right? But you can block Maurice's and Gutterman. So if you can put her in a position like where this little nook with the Hideous Mass is, you can either fight the Hideous Mass or the Mind Flayer, and these enemies over here won't hurt you. So just try to, yeah, integrate that into, like, the way you think. This music is... I can't. So, 2 waves away from death, I think. Hold on, what is that chat message I'm seeing? Oh, great Broccolite. Source Machine had an idea that chat does smash or pass without describing what we would do with them. Is this acceptable? Can we just not? I think it'd be better if we didn't do smash or pass. I'm trying to cultivate like a pretty, mostly PG, mostly like, you know, like, I don't know, just people can show up, have fun, and not have an expectation of feeling weird around other people kind of vibe. That's what I'm trying to do. Because personally, a lot of like smash or pass things make me uncomfortable, and I know that there's probably a lot of people out there who would feel the same. So this one was a pretty easy wave. The idols obviously like took up a lot of enemy currency, so to speak, enemy spawn currency. So this is the wave you die on. Oof. Okay, yeah, alright. So you just made a bad call with the FUP. So pay attention to like, and this is why like I don't like nuking so much. Pay attention to where you did end up FUPing. So not only was this fire didn't hit much of anything, you don't want to put fire on the middle of the map here because you don't want to be in the middle of the map here. Let me turn this music off because it's the end of their thing. On this map specifically, you don't want to be in this middle of the map ever. Enemies are always going to be on the sides here or in these little nooks. Generally, what I like to do, I like to put oil on the stairs here, on this little cross section, because enemies are going to spend a lot of time in this area, or on like the sides here. You can put some oil on the sides here, depending on where you're moving. But yeah, and then after that, you end up FUPing in the center, where there's just one Radiant drone and some like regular enemies. But like, you know, the Radiant Cerberus are over here, and then the Radiant Maurice is over here, and there's an Insurrectionist behind you. This is just a bad call. You definitely don't want to FUP in the center. You want to FUP on a corner where enemies have already congregated. You know what I mean? Fire way to handle that topic. Thank you very much. Idols being placed next to some other random gutter tank. Yeah, oh my god. Literally, gutter tanks next to idols is just like bread and butter. Like, they work so well together. It's cute. It's really cute, but it's annoying. Music suggestion. Unused. Oh, maybe. Do fur release. Also a good suggestion. But, I mean, we're already done with this recording anyway. But yeah, here. Just going over how you died. Look at what your FUP hit. It killed one Radiant drone, and then everything else was just like, you know, what is that, a swords machine, and then like a schism and like a filth that didn't get hit somehow. Like, these are the threatening enemies on the edges here, and the Ensur above you. And then you get hit by like a random mannequin projectile. Yeah, it was just a bad call, honestly. That happens though. Aside from that, aside from just like misusing FUPs in certain points and like trying to stay in the center of the map when the map wouldn't encourage you to do that otherwise, focus on trying to use your jackhammer backblast creatively instead of trying to use stamina, because if you use stamina every time you use the jackhammer, you're going to run out of stamina very quickly. There are definitely circumstances where you want to do that, but not every circumstance, obviously. And then additionally, remember to FUP, because you like FUPing. Remember to FUP aiming in the direction of your velocity, like how a coin would move, or like how your core would move with the core eject jackhammer. FUP in the direction of your velocity instead of completely horizontally, because you will mess it up a lot if you're just doing it completely horizontally. Or just directly upward, because you'll sometimes hit a wall as well. I don't know. I'm not like a FUP genius. That's just like a general tip, I would say. What is the PB of this user? Let's see. Does it say towards the end? I don't think it says towards the end. Yeah, it doesn't. But let me see if it says anything. I mean, they're in chat, so I think they're in chat, so they might be able to tell us. $46. Okay. Yeah, but do you understand the criticisms I'm saying? Like, do they make sense to you? Other than that, oh yeah, also other than that, just practice like the certain techs you're doing. Like practice like, you know, quick mounting. Practice like doing your coin euro combos without standing still. Practice just like aiming in general, I guess. I mean, your aim's pretty good. I'll say your aim is very good. But like there are times where like you bank a lot on hitting a shot, and like you survive merely because of like a lucky parry. Not like a lucky parry, but like the fact that you were able to parry something in a moment definitely carried you in certain points. You don't want to have to rely on parrying to heal. You definitely want to be in more situations where you don't have to rely on parrying. Also, what is a FUP? I'll show you. A FUP is a what is it called? Frozen Unfriendly Pull is what it stands for. And basically it's quite simple. Let me just do this. You're simply freezing a rocket and pulling it towards you. And you want to be airborne while you're doing it too. Here, let me become invisible. It does take health away. That's like the main drawback. Yeah, like here, like if I aim horizontally, there are circumstances where that happens and where like that happens, and, you know. But if I'm jumping up and I'm looking up while I'm jumping just slightly, then I get the FUP a lot more naturally, right? As well, like if I'm just going this way, I can dash in the middle of my FUP usually. Okay, if I'm looking actually forward, there you go. I can dash in the middle of my FUP to make myself launch forward. I can also, yeah. I don't FUP a lot, so this is like kind of tricky for me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but for someone who will FUP a lot, this is going to be a lot easier to do. See, in my head, the muscle memory is like quick mounting. That's what I'm doing like instinctively, but I know it's not that. See, like once I lock in and get it, it becomes a lot easier, but the muscle memory is definitely a lot different. The reason why people do this, the reason why people do this is because the explosion is a lot bigger when a rocket is frozen as opposed to when it's not. Like if you see that, and then if I just pull it into myself normally, the explosion's not nearly as big. And the reason why people do this is for like, here. Like if you see all of this, here. Like, I just killed like half of the enemies here by just like screwing around, doing FUPs, right? And that's because they're all launching projectiles, and those projectiles are being blasted away. So like, the larger the explosion radius, generally the more projectiles you'll catch and blast away. Pizza Man says, FUPs at their level are usually not as good. I mean, true, but I mean, if you want to get good at them, that's how I would suggest it, is just like, try to fire it in the direction that you're moving. And also, at the velocity that you're moving. It's so weird, the muscle memory. But like, if you're gonna dash, you want to dash then shoot it. Oh my god, the muscle memory. I'm so bad at it. Yeah, and if you mainly want to use it on lower waves, like if you have just like a bunch of enemies in the corner here, you can just kill a bunch of them pretty quickly. Like if you corral them all to the corner of the map. Tell me you know tech, I just use whatever's off cooldown and vaguely assume the enemies are friendly firing each other. Yeah. I mean, most enemies will just kill each other. That's the point, is like when you get to like wave 140, literally like this is all that's happening. The enemies are just killing each other all the time. I didn't even touch anything. All I did was move around and enemies just died. I did 5 damage total and I spawned in like what? Like 200 health worth of enemies? That's basically high level Cybergrind right there. Yep, that's gaming. Somehow Wits hit wave 66, not knowing how to properly aerial battle a flare. I mean, it happens. What am I? And how have I done this? Oh, how have I done this? If you look at those like wave 1 million Cybergrind, you will see just a constant stream of plus friendly fire. It's essentially high level Cybergrind. Yep. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm done doing Cybergrind review for today. I think 2 Cybergrind reviews per stream is definitely a good call. I'm going to be working for a lot of this week, so you know, the JOB. So I won't be able to stream very much. But I hope this was educational. I hope a lot of you took away some stuff from this. It was like, this is the only ULTRAKILL stream. That cannot be true. I feel educated. That's good. Also, how does the stream UI look? Does it look good? Should I make the backdrop of the chat in the top right? Should I make that a bit darker? I probably should. I think I will. I'm going to do that right now, actually. No, okay, I didn't save it. And a little bigger? Let's see. What do you guys think now? You guys are gonna have to send some messages. Okay, how do you think the review of my gameplay will go? Will do. I'm thinking I probably won't turn that one into a video. I'll probably turn one of your other ones into a video, though. Equinox, specifically. I'm not going to turn every review into a video. Because I definitely feel like I was pretty tired by the time I was reviewing yours. Fish. Is that better though? I think it's a lot better, a lot easier to see your messages. Like over like, you know, the cheat menu and stuff. By the way, how do I prevent my Death Stars from turning into nukes? Honestly, I don't even know. I think one way that does help is if you jump mid-hit stop, it generally makes it like more consistent. As well, if you make the rocket actually point towards your screen, usually at least. As well, you have to be aiming like down, like lower. Death Stars turning into nukes is typically caused by switching weapons during hit stop. Is that so? Interesting. It can be. It definitely can be caused by it. I didn't know that until now. How many mind flayers can you fight at once? Guess I'll find out for the funsies. Gosh. There we go. Oh my god, I missed my E-rail. So sad. I suck. I suck so bad, I'm ashamed. I missed my E-rail. That would have been so clutch if I hit that conduction. So bad. I keep accident. Oh, did I think I just realized why. I realized what I'm doing wrong. It's this. I had this stupid Mal-rail equipped. It's been causing me to miss everything. E-rail is electric rail cannon. There you go. This should be an easier encounter now. The worst part is going from no style to any style at all. And also the apparent lack of conduction. I don't know why I feel like they're just not conducting. Why does it feel like they're just not conducting? It's so weird. It's so bizarre. Yeah, let me just see this. Yeah, it just feels like they're not conducting. I guess it's hard to see because they're all blue. sure if I just had more explosions, it'd be a lot easier. Yeah, there's just nothing I can do against this stream projectile. Except pray. There you go. Pin is an alt marksman. I use it, and I've been using it for 1,000 hours, so it is the best. I hate mind flayers so much. I'm just screwing around at this point right now. Very balanced enemy, by the way. They're expecting you to fight 5 of these idled in the Cybergrind. Beautiful. Let's see how many hours I have in the sandbox. There you go. There's the number. You know, I mean, they don't connect if they don't have nails, but they did have nails, and I don't know, it just must have been an illusion because they're all blue. Broccoli, why do you have the camera snapping of someone who consumed entire bags of sugar? I mean, it's probably just a trick of FOV, because my FOV is 160. This is probably what your gameplay looks like. This is not how I play. I play enlightened. You can see under the map very easily. So check out these ridges. The whole world becomes spiky. Yeah, I'm gonna hop off as well, I think. I'm tired and I've got to work tomorrow. It's been fun, guys. I'm gonna turn in though. Don't forget to join the Discord. If you want to send in your review, your Cybergrind recordings, and I may review them. We'll see. Yeah, thanks for tuning in though, and don't forget to subscribe and watch my other videos because I have a lot of educational videos out there. For those who don't know. See y'all. Bye-bye.